On today's show, the East playoff race is getting more ridiculous by the day. One of the NHL's brightest stars is out for the regular season, and our 3 stars of the week.
You're Locked On NHL, your daily podcast on the National Hockey League. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to this March 18th edition of the Locked On NHL podcast. I'm Ross Levitan from Locked On Senators alongside Mike DiStefano from Locked On Maple Leafs. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is giving you a way to turn your energy into even bigger potential wins with a basketball, college, parlay profit boost. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. Mikey, it's Battle of Ontario week, buddy. Certainly doesn't have the same teeth as it did earlier on in the season, though.
No. Like at this point, you only got one team playing for something. But I've said this so many times to you, Ross, over the years. It's time for you to say it for me, or I could say it about you, however you want to look at it. Beating Ottawa and keeping them out of the playoffs would almost be like winning the Stanley Cup this year for the Maple Leafs. That's the pride. That's what they'll be playing for. Taking points away from Ottawa this weekend is what could motivate Toronto to get a win. I will say, Leafs Nation does not want that to happen. Leafs Nation would love for them to lose out every single game, but they got embarrassed by Ottawa a couple weeks ago. I think they'll play a lot better. They have been playing a lot better since the Austin Matthews incident, and I expect it to be a closer game. We'll say that, a tighter game than we saw couple weeks ago here.
I did notice our good friends over at Game Time have seen some price drops. We know that Habs fans, Leaf fans, they invade the CTC for a number of reasons that are beyond our control. Outside forces trying to disrupt our hockey club, but I don't know if there's going to be as much blue as there typically is between these two teams.
Yeah, probably not.
They always play around St. Paddy's Day, eh? That's a dangerous combination at the CTC.
St. Paddy's Day and Sens fans
and Leaf fans in the same barn.
Yeah, that's true.
I've been to a few of them, but it's always a let's put this hostile environment to say the least.
Did you take part in any St. Paddy's festivities yesterday?
No, we called it St. Pilsey's Day. It's my co-host Pilsey's birthday on St. Paddy's Day. So St. Pilsey's. We had a blast in Ottawa over the weekend, though. Got to see the Sens beat Anaheim and San Jose. Dude, those are two teams that are going to be good. We're sitting pretty close for that Anaheim game. My biggest takeaway outside of Ottawa and things, obviously watching them all the time. We talk about those Locked On Sens, but more nationally, my hot take might be that Beckett Seneca is going to make the 2030 Olympic team. That kid can play. That kid, he's so big. He's so much bigger than I thought he would be. Like, he's 20 years old. You're expecting a little bit of Bambi out there. He's strong on his skates, dude. He's a hell of a hockey player.
They got some good talent over there in Anaheim, and it's starting to really come together. They got a good coach, obviously in Joel Quenneville. So I am excited about Anaheim's future. Like, in terms of the teams that, are ready to maybe take that next step, I think that in the West specifically, like, that might be the next club.
Hilarious that they're first in the Pacific with a -10 goal differential is outrageous.
Well, that's the thing. Like, Dostal hasn't even played. Like, he hasn't had his best season at all. But things are clicking offensively for everyone else up there. Like, you got Leo Carlson, who's been a stud. Cutter Gauthier's arrived in the NHL, and obviously Beckett Seneca playing some pretty solid hockey as a 19-year-old in the NHL. So got some good talent down there in Anaheim.
Yeah, he's unreal. And our guys over at Locked On Ducks will take care of each step of the way if you want to know more about those players. And then Sunday, Macklin Celebrini. The amount of Macklin Celebrini jerseys in Ottawa was astounding. And some of them still had the tags on the jerseys for sure. Like, these were brand new, hot off the press, Macklin Celebrini jerseys. Obviously, he made even more waves making the Olympics all across Canada. Everyone's like, this kid is the future of Hockey Canada. So there was a lot of that. It was funny. I was saying the percentage of away jerseys that were Macklin Celebrini was near the same as the amount of Ducks jerseys that had fictional characters on the back. I saw a lot of Adam Banks jerseys in the crowd. I saw some Goldberg jerseys.
Charlie Conways? No Conways?
Conways back there. But it's so funny. And those are just classic jerseys to have in the back of the closet. But all that aside, the Senators are winning, and it hasn't really mattered that much because the East playoff race right now is absolutely bonkers. You got the Bruins and Red Wings sitting in a playoff spot right now in the wild card, both with 82 points. They both have 68 games played. So Ottawa's got 2 games in hand. Columbus has 1 game in hand. The Senators are 5 point back. Columbus is only 1 point back, and they're only 2 back of the Islanders, who are 3rd in the Metropolitan. And all of a sudden, the 2-3 seeds in the Metropolitan are starting to play a lot better. Pittsburgh's won 2 straight. Huge win in Colorado for them. And then you saw the Islanders take care of business in Toronto in Matthew Schaefer's first game in his hometown. So you're seeing like out west, if you go to the last 10 games of all the teams, even in the mix for a wild card spot, nobody has more than 5 wins in their last 10. Whereas you look at the East, and sure, you could say that Boston and Detroit only have 4 in their last 10, but they're finding ways to get points. The Bruins are back-to-back overtime losers, and the teams that are coming, that's what's making that race a lot more interesting than out west. Columbus is 6-0-4 in their last 10, and Ottawa is 7-1-2. You could even say the Flyers are 6-3-1, but they've got a steeper hill to climb, so I don't think that we can really include them in this. But this is what it's all about. You want the wild card race to come down to teams winning, not teams dropping down and potentially
for sure
spot. It's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely. Like you want it to be a good race down the stretch, and we're getting that. It's not just the wildcard teams. You mentioned it, man. Like, the Pens and Islanders now got to feel threatened about Columbus come from one of those spots. Like those Blue Jackets, those pesky Jackets, man, like they won't go away. Like Jet Greaves playing some outstanding goaltending. And obviously, you're getting some big contributions up and down the lineup from that club over in Columbus. They haven't lost a game reg in over 10 games. Like that's just a team that just continues to win and stack points. And they're now just 1 point out of a wild card spot, 2 points out of a metro spot, a divisional spot there with both Pittsburgh and the Islanders sitting there with 83 points. So I'd be, if you're Pittsburgh and New York, like you got to make sure that you finish strong because you got a team coming in. And I don't think either of those 2 clubs, Pittsburgh or the Islanders, want to get into the wild card mix and, be forced to have to do the crossover and then have to go to play either Buffalo or Tampa. Or, even the Islanders, or the Hurricanes. Like if you're Pittsburgh in New York, you probably would like it to stay 2-3 and play each other. Because, like the other options of Carolina or Buffalo, definitely not ideal. No. So, yeah, it's finally becoming quite the race here. You think, how do you think it shakes out though, Ross? Like when all's said and done, who gets in, who falls out?
Yeah, well, I think the Columbus is going to get one of those top 3 spots in the Metro. They're 16-2-4 under Rick Bowness. Like that's incredible. Their only regulation losses came to Ottawa and to Boston. Otherwise, they've been perfect. It's ridiculous. And that they have talent, but it's kind of the sum of their parts is greater than any one piece. I know they've got Zach Werenski, of course, leading the way, but they went 4-0 when he missed a bunch of games, or 3-0 when he was sick for a week. Like that is the true definition of a team. And every single night, like beating up on the Hurricanes 5-1 last night, like, come on. And you got to give Don Waddell a ton of credit. Look at what Mason Marchment's been doing since coming in. Like that was an early move way before the deadline. Like we got to turn things around. How are we going to do it? Marchment has 12 goals and 21 points in 25 games for them. Like that's an incredible stretch for him. You got Kirill Marchenko, who we knew was nasty, but the play of Charlie Coyle, offseason addition for them, he's been unbelievable. 55 points, plus 10 in 67 games. They're just the true definition of a team, and I think that they're going to sneak into the top 3 spot there. I don't know whether it's going to be Pittsburgh or the Islanders coming out. Pittsburgh's making it clear that they're not a team that relies on one player or 2 players, because you look at them missing Sidney Crosby still since the Olympics and Evgeny Malkin missing 5 games for suspension. Sure, he comes back and helps out right away with 2 goals and an assist against Colorado, but that's a team that's relying on guys who come in. Again, an early season trade. Igor Chinikov, been unbelievable for them so far, fitting in really well. And they just have all these guys. Justin Brazeau, career high in points. There's a hilarious video after the game in Colorado. I guess it was an inside joke in the team. But Nola Chari hit 10 assists in a season for the first time in his career. And they gave him a puck, got a picture with Sid and Malkin for it, the whole 9 yards. I think the undercover story there, too, is Erik Karlsson looks like he's turned back the clock.
Yeah.
Man. He's been leading the way for them. So it's going to be a really, I would say, impressive battle. Where out west, it's like, who's going to be the team that finds a way in? Out east, it's like, you're not going to want to play those wild card teams because whoever makes it is going to have to be on such a good run to get into the playoffs that they're going to be clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Columbus definitely gets in there, and then probably
I think it's going to be Boston, Detroit, and Ottawa fighting for one spot.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, I guess, one of those teams that falls out of the Metro would be fighting for the other, no?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, so if you got Columbus getting in, then you got, New York or Pittsburgh falling out of it.
Yep.
Taking one spot, and then, Boston, Detroit, Ottawa for that final wild card, you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah, well, and Ottawa's got a couple huge matchups coming up. They got the Islanders tomorrow, and then the biggest one, because right now Ottawa's 5 points back of the Detroit Red Wings with 2 games in hand, and they play each other not this Tuesday, or sorry, this upcoming Tuesday. So a week from yesterday.
That's a reg that you have to win that game in reg. Have to win that game in reg.
Have to. And Ottawa and Detroit have gone to overtime 2 of the 3 times they've played so far this year. Ottawa still winless. They're 0-1-2 so far against Detroit this season. So that's about as must win. But Ottawa's got to get there, right? Like Ottawa's at a point in their season where every loss feels like 10 losses, where they lost to Montreal of all teams. And that was a team that they could have potentially been chasing. And that 2 points kind of put them out of reach. Yeah. So it's going right down. And if you look analytically, Ottawa's one of the better teams in the league this season. It's just been goaltending has not been good. They started Ullmark both games last weekend, which people were like, whoa, like that's a heavy workload for a guy who hasn't played a whole lot. And man, I got a stat for you. I'll save it for the other side, but it is one of the wildest stats I've seen in quite some time. We'll get to that next. I want to hear who's in, who's out for you, and we'll get into the tough news that Leon Draisaitl has been ruled out for the regular season. That's next. You're listening to Locked On NHL, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by our good friends over at Robinhood. What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house. It's about participating in a live auction. You can buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood prediction markets changes the game. It's people moving the action, so when momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now I can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play-by-play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood, now available in the U.S. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives, LLC, a registered future commission merchant and swap firm. Welcome back, Locked On NHL, your team every day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcast network. Last thought here about the Ottawa Senators, because it does really just come down to goaltending for them. You can go back to the game that they beat the Columbus Blue Jackets. This is December 11th. In Linus Ullmark's last 16 games, he has an 11-1-3 record. And get this, with an .897 save percentage. 11-1-3 with a sub-900 save percentage.
Yeah, I mean, Sens are scoring goals. Sens are scoring some goals.
They also just don't give up any shots. They're averaging the fewest amount of shots against per game in the entire league.
Yeah, that's true too. Did you see the crazy stat about the Montreal Canadiens?
Yeah, I did. 900 save percentage. It's pretty close with Ottawa too.
Yeah. I mean,
those are two teams that just have not been getting goaltending.
I think Coco tweeted it out yesterday.
Yeah, he did last night. He was working. I was watching the Habs broadcast. He was him and Frankie Corrado were just all over that.
So the Habs are 27-0-3 when they get a 900 or better save percentage out of their goaltenders.
Yep.
10-19-7 when it's below 900. So when that team gets average goaltending, they're a wagon, an absolute wagon. It's crazy. Like, if they can get quality goaltending out of one of Dobish or maybe even that Jacob Fowler kid, the Montreal Canadiens could be a problem too come playoff time.
I don't think it could happen, but boy, would I love a Sens Habs first round matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what would happen. No, it doesn't.
The Habs would have to win the division. It's not happening.
The Habs win the division, or the Sabre or the Lightning, or I guess one of the Lightning or Sabres fall out, and somehow you get it as a 2-3. Yeah, you could get it as a 2-3, but
yeah, not happening.
I
just want to make the playoffs. I'm not looking at 2-3, Mikey. I'm not looking at 2-3.
That's fair.
What do you think the Oilers are looking at right now? Because that was a huge win against San Jose last night after the news that Leon Draisaitl was going to be out for the regular season. They beat them 5-3, and man, that's even more interesting because I saw Sharks fans not cheering for the injury, but certainly taking note that they have the Oilers' unprotected first-round pick this season.
Yeah, so obviously Sharks would love to, would have loved to win that game last night and put a dent in it. But I mean, I don't know. The Oilers, I think, are going to make the playoffs. I don't think it's even a conversation that they don't at this point. The Oilers are ready and probably going to end up still winning the division. Yeah, I believe so. Like, as nice as a story it's been there in Anaheim, I still think Edmonton, when all said and done, will finish atop of the Pacific. Although the Draisaitl injury is tough, you still have Connor McDavid. You still got McJesus, who was out there making plays last night. Zach Hyman scored a goal last night. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, they still have some great players out there, and they seem to be playing a little bit better defensively. That Connor Murphy pickup was a savvy pickup by the Oilers, and now they've moved on and they've named Connor Ingram their starter. So they don't got to worry about Tristan Jarry letting in 6 goals a game either. If Connor Ingram's going to come out and play some decent goaltending, give him a bit of a run. So, it's obviously tough news to hear that Leon Draisaitl is going to be out for the remainder of the regular season. You don't want that, especially a team that's in a playoff race and a divisional race. But I still have full faith that the Oilers can get it done and Connor McDavid can throw the cape on once again. I am curious, though, if you think that'll impact the MVP odds. If he can end up leading this team to a division title without Draisaitl for 15 games, I feel like he should be talked about more in the MVP conversation if he can get that done. Because right now, he's 4th in MVP odds on FanDuel at plus 850. And if he has to go legend mode over the next few games to lead this team to a division title, I think that should get a little bit more attention for the MVP conversation.
Do you think Hart Trophy voters care about even strength points?
I mean, yes, I think they do.
Because McDavid's 4th in even strength points, despite leading the league in scoring. He's got 5 more power play points than anybody, and would you look at that? It's Leon Draisaitl next. He's got 11 more power play points than anybody else outside of Edmonton.
I know power play is lethal. It's a lethal power play. It's the number 1 power play in the league for a reason, and he's the head of it. So that makes total sense to me.
I mean, selfishly, I want Nikita Kucherov because we gave out the tip on FanDuel about a month and a half, 2 months ago. Watch Nikita Kucherov, and he leads the league in points per game this season at 1.79. But yeah, I think it could impact it for sure. I mean, he's got 37 goals. I honestly wouldn't count him out hitting 50 this year. 13 goals in the last 13 games he would need.
Maybe it seems a little bit of a stretch at that point, but I think certainly Hart Trophy. I don't know if Rockets in there, but Hart Trophy for sure.
Well, no, because McKinnon's already got 45, and McKinnon's got a couple extra games to play too. So
yeah, he's minus.
Can't out McKinnon either.
No.
What are the odds at FanDuel right now?
Well, McKinnon's minus 260, so pretty heavily favored.
Wow.
And then Kucherov at plus 330, Celebrini plus 460. And then there's a drop McDavid plus 850. I think that's great value, especially with Leon going out. I think that there's a little narrative play for McDavid to kind of, if he can get that team into it and without Leon and really solidify that Pacific Division, and he goes on a heater down the stretch, it's possible. I mean, he finishes with the most points in the NHL. It's very possible that McDavid, when all said and done, could end up with a lot more Hart Trophy love.
It's going to be a great race to the finish. We know that Leon
Draisaitl,
Draisaitl.
Quickly, you can get the field at plus 192 over McKinnon.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd probably take that.
I agree.
You can also assuredly know that Leon Draisaitl will finish his regular season with 35 goals, 97 points in 65 games. General manager Stan Bowman coming out this morning and saying he does not need surgery and is expected to be in the lineup for game 1 of the playoffs should the Oilers qualify, which we're both on the same side. They are making the playoffs. They're in the Pacific Division. Like, that's all you need to know.
Yeah, they're fine. So let me ask you this. If they already know today that he's good to go for game 1 of the playoffs, if, let's just hypothetically, game 82, it was win or lose, like if whatever happens, they had to win game 182. That's the difference between winning or losing the division, or let's even say winning or losing home ice advantage. You think that he would play that game?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So why would they say he's out for the remainder of the season and then guaranteed he's good for game 1?
Yeah, I know.
They've made like tough. He will miss the remainder of the season. Like,
you know what? Maybe they don't put him in.
If he's good he's going to be good 2 days from now. It's a win. It's a must-win game now. Game 82. Why not play him? I just don't see why you make that declaration. He'll definitely be ready for game 1, but if we need him for game 82, there's no possible way he could be ready. No way. No possible way.
Yeah, they've also got 2 days off before their final game of the season, which is at home against the Vancouver Canucks. So maybe they'd feel, but they could probably handle that without Leon Draisaitl.
Well, let's say Edmonton loses 6 in a row, and then they need that final game to advance into the playoffs. I don't know. I just thought it was very bizarre to sit here, say he's out for the remainder of the season, and then the very next day, but he'll definitely play game 1. It's like,
yeah.
So what if he'll be good game 82? Like there's no possible way he could play game 82, but he'll definitely play game 1 of the playoffs. It's just weird to me. But anyway,
stay tuned to find out. Up next, we've got our 3 stars of the week. You're locked on NHL, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. College basketball is nonstop. Big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every single night. From early tip-offs to late-night West Coast shootouts, there's always action on the board. And now FanDuel's giving you a way to turn that energy into even bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. You can build any college hoops parlay you want, rivalry games, ranked matchups, whatever fits your read. You can mix spreads, totals, and player props and match how you see the slate playing out. And then you can apply the profit boost and instantly bump up the potential playout. You've got March Madness coming up, so go safe, go bold, ride with the teams you've been following all season. It's your parlay, your style, now with even more upside behind it. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game. Welcome back, Locked On NHL, your team every day, part of Locked On Podcast Network, where you can join the Everydayer Club for all of the great programs. You can get them ad-free. The link is in our description below. For more from my co-host, Mike DiStefano, check out Locked On Maple Leafs. I am over at Locked On Senators. Mikey, our 3 stars of the week. Everybody knows the 3 stars of the week belong from Wednesday to Wednesday. So in the last 7 days, who's your 3rd star of the week?
Yeah, I think we had to give it to Bobby McMahon, traded from the Maple Leafs to the Seattle Kraken at the 11th hour of the deadline. $259 that deal pretty much went through. And he's been a big pickup for the Kraken. He's got 4 goals, 6 points in the 3 games since he's gotten there. Monster week for him. So I think Bobby McMahon deserves some love. We'll give him the 3rd star.
Yeah, really impressive for a guy. When you go into a new team, like obviously you want to have a good start. That goes without saying, Captain Obvious. But when you actually accomplish that, it's got to make you feel so good and like a part of the team right away. And hey, sneaky great year for him, man. 23 tucks. That's awesome.
It's not sneaky on my end because I watched it here in Toronto. And when he only received a 2nd round pick, I was like, of course, the Leafs not able to get the most out of their guy, and right now the Kraken pretty happy with their buy low option on Bobby McMahon. But good for him, man. Good for him. It's funny because Leaf fans are happy for Bobby McMahon and want to see him succeed, but at the same time, the draft pick that they got for Scott Laughton, who is just on the outside looking in on the playoffs, chasing the Kraken, that. It was a conditional 3rd that only turns into a 2nd if they make the playoffs. And it's pretty much a 2-horse race. Well, not 2, but like one of Seattle or LA are going to make the playoffs. So one of Bobby McMahon or Scott Laughton will make the playoffs. It's possible neither make the playoffs too, I guess, if San Jose or Nashville or maybe the Jets sneak their way into there. But Leaf fans, I think at this point, have become big Kings fans, so that conditional 3rd can turn to a 2nd round pick.
Yeah, and you love a good story like Bobby McMahon, right? Undrafted, makes his NHL debut at 26 years old, and then gets 15 goals, then gets 20 goals, and now he's set a career high with his 23rd of the season in that loss to Tampa last night.
He's got a little Hyman light to him. He's not, Zach Hyman, but he plays kind of a similar game. Good speed, decent size. And he can shoot the puck. He can shoot the puck pretty well.
2nd star of the week, and this one came in right at the wire late last night. Nikita Kucherov puts up a hat trick, a 5-point effort in a 6-2 win. He finishes the week with 7 points in 3 games. Kucherov is as automatic as there is in the National Hockey League, and the way that he does it without being as fast of a skater as any of the other guys in that top echelon of point producers, sometimes it doesn't even look like he's trying out there. And all of a sudden, he just pulls moves out of his bag that are truly remarkable. Nikita Kucherov, easily the 2nd star of the week.
Yeah. I mean, he just continues to go out there and put up multi-point performance after multi-point performance after multi-point performance. I mean, the numbers since, like Jan 1, like in 2026 are absurd what Nikita Kucherov has been able to do. Another 5-point effort this week. He's closing in on McDavid, trying to, close in on that Art Ross trophy. He's 2nd in MVP odds as well. He's will continue to be a mainstay on our list here. So well deserved to get that second star consideration here.
And just don't let Nikita Kucherov get a point against you, because if he gets 1, he's probably going to get multiple points. He has at least a point in 49 games this year, but in 36 of them, he has multi-point games, and he actually has 8 4-point games at least. He has 2 5-point games, but 8 games where he has 4 or more points this season. That would be a great career for some players.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I'm like, how many players in the league you think have had 4-point games this year?
Not many.
Like it's wild that he's had 8 of those. Do you think they close the gap on Buffalo here? Who do you think wins the Atlantic?
I think Buffalo wins it.
Yeah, Buffalo runs away with it there.
Yeah. There's been 122 4-point games in the entire National Hockey League this year, and Kucherov has 8 of them.
Yeah, pretty solid.
Not bad. Hey, good stats department, pulling that out of my hat.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh yeah, by game. Unclick some results, and away you go. To our 1st star of the week, and at Locked On Sens, we're a goalie-friendly show, and we talked about the Columbus Blue Jackets. They've been unbelievable, and a huge reason why is Jet Greaves. One of the undersized goalies in the league, does it a little bit differently, but man, is he efficient. What a week it's been for Jet Greaves. He's got 2 wins in 2 games. That's all you can ask for a goalie. Go out and win. But the way he's been able to battle and help his team win, truly incredible. He stopped 45 of 47 shots, only allowed 2 goals, 1 in each game, and 1 of them went to overtime. So he's got that .96 goals against average. Just an incredible run for Jet Greaves.
He's been, I mean, this is 2 years now. Like, I think Jack Greaves, we can confidently say, good goalie, right? Good goalie. He had that run at the end of the season last year, almost got Columbus into the playoffs. And then he's like, I guess we need to have that run a little earlier. So they had it a little earlier this year, and now they're right on the outside looking in, but have a bit more of a runway to get themselves into the postseason, which I fully expect them to do. But yeah, started 2 games this week, a 2-1 win against the Flyers, as you mentioned, in a shootout, and then big win last night against Carolina. I mean, you beat Carolina 5-1, you limit them to a single goal, stop 27-28, a .964 save percentage in that game. It's pretty good, man. Pretty good stuff. So, Jack Greaves, he's really part of the solution here, where when it comes to turning things around for the Blue Jackets, obviously, the coach and the system must be working well, but Jack Greaves, man, his guy's playing some really good hockey this year. A .909 save percentage, which is tied for 11th best in the NHL this season. So, he's been one of the better goaltenders of late too. So, certainly I think Jack Greaves deserving of top spot here.
Hey, he's 10-0-2 in his last 12 decisions with a .914. So it's very good. And I think what's really cool too is this week's 3 stars, 2 of them are undrafted. Jack Greaves was also an undrafted goaltender. And even Kucherov, like Kucherov being a second-round pick is a complete joke. Like, obviously it's Tampa that gets him, right? 58th overall, like the end of the second round.
That was the Russian factor back in the day.
He was already playing
worried
in the
about
queue.
People were worried about him going back overseas, playing in Russia.
His Q numbers, and I'll end the show with this because it is the most. Or no, sorry, they drafted him out of Russia.
Yeah,
correction.
And then he came back.
Played one more year in the KHL and MHL combined, and then he comes over to North America. Starts with the Quebec Remparts, and I guess it doesn't go well there. I don't know if Patty Wall was his coach at that point. Gets traded to Rouyn-Noranda.
No, and Wall would have still been with Colorado by then.
Oh yeah, 2013. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. 53 points in 27 games, and then has 24 in 14 playoff games. And I think this was a good time to use the old phrase, the rest is history. That guy is a complete wagon. So our 3 stars of the week: number 3, Bobby McMann; number 2, Nikita Kucherov; and number 1, Jet Greaves. And that's our show today. For more from us, check out Locked On Leafs, Locked On Senators, big head-to-head matchup for one of us this Saturday in Ottawa. But for today, we say goodbye. For Mike DiStefano, I'm Ross Levitan, and this has been another edition of the Locked On NHL podcast, your team every day.